Hey guys, it's Joe. Real quick, just before we get into this interview, I want to say a quick thank you to all of you guys for the support on this channel. It's been incredible to witness the growth of things and then also just see so many energetic K-State fans like yourself joining in here. So I want to say a quick thank you for that. Also want to shout out the man himself, Mobi Ikegwuruka, for joining us here on the YouTube channel. One of my favorite dudes to watch on the basketball court. I know he doesn't play a ton, but anytime he's on the basketball court, it is must-see TV because he's an exciting dude to follow. He sat down and talked about his impact on the court, some different things in his personal life, as well as a couple different opportunities for Kansas State going forward. And it's just an awesome thing to see, and I really enjoyed putting this together for you guys. So hopefully you guys really enjoy it. I enjoyed talking to Mobi, getting to talk ball with the boys. So really exciting thing to see there. Also, quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. It helps out immensely. 3,000 subs. Cat script tattoo on the left thigh. It'll be something cool to see. So be sure and hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, here is the interview with my man Mobi. Well, Mobi, I'll start off here by asking you about that Arizona State game, a massive game with a ton of different storylines. I mean, you go from down 18 to up 13, just had a ton of different stuff involved. What are your emotions like in a win like that?
Yeah, it was a great win, I mean, that's not the first time we've been down ever as a team. So, I wouldn't want to say that we're used to being down, but we always get ourselves into those type of situations, then we can always pick ourselves back up. I thought the guys fought amazingly hard, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't score well, I think, what was it, 6 or 7 minutes? I don't know how long it was, but it was definitely crazy at the start, but we kind of picked things up, figured things out. You know what I mean? Started making pretty big shots, and everything started to work in our favor.
Now, I don't know how active you are on social media or what your relationship's like with social media, but I want to ask you this. Are you aware that you've become kind of this fan favorite type dude in the K-State fan base?
My teammates tell me a few things. I mean, I'm not really a social media type of guy like that, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really loving to see that. I have so much people pushing me and on my back, telling me what to do, blah blah. So I think that's really really important.
Now, Mobi, you have an incredibly diverse background where you've grown up in multiple different cultures and countries around the world. You've had a ton of different experiences to pull from leading up to now, and I'm curious about the adjustment, what it's looked like living in Manhattan, Kansas, versus some of the places you've traveled overseas, or maybe what some of the biggest differences are.
I mean, one huge difference is, I would say, this place really has like a home environment. Like my first few weeks out here, I didn't feel uncomfortable. Like in a lot of other places, I felt scared and afraid of what's gonna happen, blah blah. But here, it was just a very quick fit for me, and I think that's rare. You don't really see that in a lot of different places, and with Manhattan, it's like there's like a family culture around here. Not even just the team or the school. Like, I'm talking like the whole city itself. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is kind of with each other. So I really I like that a lot.
Now, let me address the elephant in the room with the next question here. You guys were not great coming out of the gates. You started off 1-6 through your first 7. And I'm curious about the adjustment because since then, you guys have won 4 straight with big wins over multiple top 25 teams. I know it may not be as specific to say one thing, but if you had to pinpoint something, what do you think the biggest reason for the drastic turnaround is?
Yeah, this is a great question. What I would say, me personally, the turnaround is, I would say we're all starting to really buy in now. You know what I mean? Like, we're all starting to really like, okay, like, no more mess ups. You know what I mean? Like, it's like everybody's starting to really like, like, we're kind of functioning like a beehive almost. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's doing their part in practice, then it all translates to a game. You know what I mean? And like, I think that was kind of what was missing at the start. Like, people weren't really like 100% with it, but now, as you can see, that's our fourth straight win in a row, and like, I feel like everybody's starting to really, okay, I'm here for this, so I'm gonna do my best at doing what I do best, and yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if you caught it at all, but one of my favorite clips from the Iowa State game, just something that was really funny looking back at it in the highlights. When you had the nice lay-in, it was an assist from Doug down underneath the basket. The commentator who was calling the game absolutely butchered your last name. It was not close, not a great attempt, but are you aware that you becoming a star in college basketball might be the biggest fear for just about everybody calling a Kansas State game in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't like. You can get it wrong, but getting it that wrong is, to me, is honestly insane. Like, it was like it wasn't even remotely close. But I mean, do understand, like, if it's your first few times saying my name, then okay, like, I definitely do hear. I don't even know what he said, but I think I heard like a bit of it. yeah, it was it was pretty funny though.
Well, the next question I want to hit you with is one that I know a lot of people have discussed, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts and your take on it. What is your relationship like with this coaching staff?
This staff is unbelievable. I mean, all the coaches that I was really close with growing up, even knew some of the guys on staff telling me how great the staff was. So it's no surprise that I'm really getting along with them off and on the court. You know what I mean? Like the way our staff cares for us off the court is otherworldly. I don't think you see this out of a lot of other programs. You know what I mean? So, like yeah, this staff is probably the best staff I ever been around for sure.
Now, next up, I want to ask about your relationship with a couple of your teammates. You play with two of the best big men in college basketball, in Coleman Hawkins and David Gasson. They both have incredible skill sets and really are awesome dudes to watch play basketball. But I'm curious if there's anything you've learned from them or any funny stories to take away from them, just stuff that you'll remember from playing with these two dudes.
I don't know if I have any stories, but I know like those two are my guys. I love playing with two of them. It's so like even though it's kind of rare sometimes for us to be on the court all together because I'm the one who kind of comes in and kind of and helps them out if they need a breather or whatever, blah blah blah. But playing with those guys in practice or even being with them off the court it's a ball. It's either funny or I don't know. Yes, I love those two guys. They are probably they are two of my out of all the teams I've played on growing up. Those two guys are definitely gonna be like more than friends just after this. You know what I mean?
When you came to Kansas State, there was the Chapter 785 introductory videos for everybody on the team. And it was a really cool thing to see with photos of people's childhood, of their background, of how they got to Kansas State, so on and so forth. But one thing in there that stuck out to me was you talked about your hobbies off the court. You talked about guitar and fashion and a couple different things you're interested in. Could I have you expand on your hobbies for the fan base that may or may not know a little bit more about what you enjoy to do?
Off the basketball court, I'm really into fashion and photography and art, all that. Music, and I guess just like when I'm kind of not playing basketball, I don't know, like I'm usually out doing something. I may put on an outfit and go and take some photos somewhere or something, or I may, go for a walk or something and just listen to music. There's not much to me, but to a lot of people there is, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Super quick break. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, 63% of the people watching this video right now are currently not subscribed to the YouTube channel, and feel free absolutely to ignore this and skip this, whatever the case is. But those of you that are watching right now and are unsubscribed, be sure and consider hitting that subscribe button if you love Kansas State, if you appreciate the channel. It's a great way to support me as I continue to grow on this journey, and it's also incredible to bring more K-State fans in like yourself on a consistent basis to see more of my K-State content. Once again, if you're in that 63% or if you're in the alternative in the 37%, I love and appreciate you. Back to the Cats. And then one I think that the fan base may be eager to know is, who do you think has the best style on the team? I know there's a couple of answers, and obviously besides yourself, but if you had to answer, who do you think is the best style of any of your teammates?
I mean, everybody has a style is their own style. You know what I mean? That's the thing with fashion. Fashion is what you want it to be. That's what I think. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're asking me, out of everybody, it's David Tillery who has the best style. I'm not afraid to say that at all.
Another thing that stood out to me in that video was you mentioned watching a ton of film on Avery Bradley. And for fans that don't know, it's a two-way guy that really took over in transition and took over on the defensive side of things. And I know that's not necessarily, that's not typical among kids today. And I think a lot of people want to watch film like Luka or Shea or a couple different dudes that are lighting up the stat sheet. I want to ask you about your commitment, your effort to defending and rebounding and pushing the pace in transition, just the ways that you win basketball games beyond lighting up the score sheet. I want to ask you a little bit about the differences in your role in that sense here.
Although, of course, I'm come from JUCO and playing those high minutes and, always having the ball in my hand. It's very, very different now. But like I was quick to understand what I'm best at, what will help this team. You know what I mean? And that's why when I come off the bench, off a game, the first thing I think to myself is, okay, activity. You know what I mean? Like don't fall asleep on plays. Don't if I'm guarding the ball, I don't only want to guard the ball. I want to take the ball. You know what I mean? Like small things like that kind of wire my head to be like, okay, like to make me keep going, never stopping, basically. Like always having like a high motor every time I'm subbed in, and that's kind of what I think I'm best at and what I want to improve at also. So
I think there's kind of sometimes maybe not a bad stigma, but there's just kind of this ideology now where guys want to light up the score sheet, maybe don't want to defend as much, or they don't want to accept certain things they need to do to win the basketball games in the right way. And with you guys, it feels like, not just you, but everybody on this team has embraced defense. Like, people have talked about a couple different dudes just diving for loose balls, getting off the floor, being the first guy to help their teammates up. That stuff impacts winning.
Exactly. And like, not everybody's going to go on and score 30 and 10 or 20 and 15, you know what I mean? But it's the little things that really do matter in these type of games, you know what I mean? Like, you may never notice it. Of course, like you said, it may never show up on a stat sheet, but even playing defense for a whole 25 seconds, can really change a game. Doing that consistently every game can really, like, as you saw, like our defense has kind of changed from how it was. Like everybody's now kind of, I would say, defending, you know what I mean? Like, they're actually putting pride on their defense. So it's huge.
I know I just asked you what it takes to win basketball games beyond scoring, but let's jump into scoring. Let's talk about it. You have two of the best shooters in the country on your team in Max and Brendan, and obviously you can highlight a bunch of different dudes that can shoot lights out from three, but I want to ask this because you've had some awesome reactions, whether you be on the basketball court or on the bench. When one of those guys shoots, your hand goes straight up, you're celebrating it. What's the feeling when you see one of those two dudes pulling up from three?
Man, me personally, I always think it's going in. I don't really care if it's air ball, if it's whatever, blah, blah. I will stand up and put it and shape a three with my three fingers. Like, I always like those guys, they can shoot any single shot, and I'll always be kind of, there to support them. And now when I'm on the court, like, if I was to get like offensive rebound, those are the guys who I'm looking to for straight away, to like making them shoot that same shot again if they miss or if they make it, you know what I mean? And yeah, playing with them or even just being around them is just the best experience.